the winner of Battle of the Decades, Undertones or Tiffany. Next, but first, like pretty much everything else, really, changes in 2020. Mass firework displays, well, off due to the pandemic, of course, and particularly with the second lockdown coming in the next couple of days. Fair old chance, I think, that some people will opt for home displays. In fact, I heard some last weekend as well, maybe you have as well. Problem with that is animals, pets across Nottinghamshire are affected by this, and there is some research by the Blue Cross showing that fireworks raise pets' stress levels. They cause changes in behaviour, timid behaviour, things like that, increased levels of growling and howling, and you can understand why. So look, we've got some expert advice for you now. Top dog trainer Joe Nutkins on hand with some helpful advice. Hello, Joe. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, yeah.
That's
You're
good.
a little bit like me around this time of year when you start thinking, oh, here we go. There are going to be a few people setting off fireworks, therefore setting off my dogs.
Not so much for my dogs, but I do get contacted in throughout October and certainly into November. I get contacted by quite a lot of people that need help for their dogs, or it's their puppy's first experience of fireworks. But it's all animals. It's not just the dogs. Obviously, I'm a dog trainer, but we actually have chickens and ducks and quail. So I'm quite aware of all the different animals that need a little bit of help this time of year.
Yes, yeah. I was going to ask you about that because this isn't just a dog. I know I talk about dogs because I've got them, but it does affect other animals, cats as well.
Yeah.
So what can we do? Because sometimes you kind of know. Well, we know that November the 5th is coming, but around this time, around this kind of week, you start to hear and see them begin to go off. So what can we do to try and get our pets calmer?
So for this time of the year, like you say, we've already been hearing them. I've been hearing them for a couple of weeks now in different places. So it's a bit late in the year to be actually changing behaviour, but we can certainly do a lot to help manage any sort of stresses. Excuse me. We can also help dogs that it will be their first time of hearing fireworks, so puppies, for example. We can, sorry, I've got one of my dogs on my lap and she's now licking the microphone, which is not very helpful. Thank you, Ripley. So if you can hear a funny slurping noise, it'll be Ripley. So, honestly, dogs. So you can do a few things. You can create a den for your dog, which would work just as well for cats as well indoors. Creating a den, it might be if you've got a dog crate, you can cover it with something, or if you've got a table or a chair that you could just put a blanket over and put your dog's bed inside. Make sure it's not by a window or by an open fireplace, because obviously the sound will come through there. And it just gives dogs a nice safe area to go to. They very naturally would go into a den area if they get scared, so it gives them a really safe space to go to and just kind of deal with things. You can keep your animals safe, so dogs, cats, whatever animals you have. Consider whether your garden is 100% escape proof, because a lot of animals, including dogs, will bolt at the sound of fireworks. If they need to go out to the toilet and you might think, oh, it's quiet, I'll let them off now, and then all of a sudden your next door neighbour lets off the loudest firework you've ever heard, and that can cause animals to bolt and flee and just try and save themselves, really. So that's a time where a lot of animals actually get lost, because they manage to get out the garden. They can climb fences. I know of dogs that have climbed 6-foot fences before just to get away from the sound because they're not sure where it's coming from. So, make sure that if you've got animals that are outside, make sure they're tucked away in bed. Take your dog out on a lead. Keep an eye on your cat, just really be safe. If you are walking your dog, I mean, I've heard fireworks at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon before now when it's not even dark. So, this is just for a week. Take your dog out and keep them on a lead or a long line for those walks, especially if you've taken your dog to somewhere and they might not be able to make their way home very easily.
Yes.
Just keep them safe,
Sorry, let me just ask you about, some people say, put the radio on, put some calming music. You can get all kinds of things on YouTube as well. I mean, can that help?
It can. Dogs have got really exceptional hearing, so having a radio on or the TV on loud can certainly drown out some of the noise. If you tend to have the TV or the radio on anyway, putting it on makes it quite normal, so it can actually make it less strange for a dog. So if we haven't got anything on and we normally would, it would seem a bit weird for them anyway. But they can hear, they can smell the fireworks as well, so it doesn't counteract everything, but it certainly can help a lot of dogs by just having that sound. There are actual calming sounds, like you say, that are specifically designed to help dogs or to help animals in general to stay a little bit calmer. I've not used them myself, but it certainly wouldn't hurt to put it on and just see if it helps your dog. You'd want to start putting it on ideally before the fireworks start, so they can be in a calmer state to start with, rather than waiting for the fireworks and your dog's manic and then you've got to try and bring them back down again. That would be much harder. But certainly it's worth a try. But you can add to calming music with things like you can get essences that you can put in your dog's water, like Rescue Remedy and things like that. You can get diffuser sprays, DAP diffusers, which are pheromones, and your vets will have them, or you can get them online. You'd want to get them done today if you can, really, so close now, and get them running because they need to get into your dog's system, but they're natural, they don't interfere with medications. They can really help. Playing with your dog might sound strange, but if your dog likes to play with a toy or plays with you or has a good wrestle on the floor, if they hear a firework and they're not too sure, get in there with a bit of play, because it just helps the adrenaline sort itself out. It helps your dog just to concentrate on something different, and it can actually help, especially puppies that will be new to fireworks. It can help them just to think, oh, okay, fireworks in the background, nothing's changed, we're doing something I like doing, yep, that's fine. It can actually set them up to be confident with fireworks for the rest of their lives. So grabbing a toy, get a bit of play.
That reminds me of something that someone told me once, Joe, and that was that you shouldn't react. You know, if a firework goes off, loud bang, and big flash in the window, whatever, you shouldn't necessarily react. Say if your dog, your pet, starts getting really afraid, it kind of reinforces the feeling. So I don't know, because that's counterintuitive.
So yeah, there's the old information always used to be, don't reassure your dog, you can't cuddle them because you're going to reinforce fear, which is obviously an emotion. Technically you can't reinforce a fear. What can happen though is if our dog maybe hears a firework and we weren't expecting it, or we'd forgotten or lost the time, and we suddenly run around screeching and, oh my God, get the curtain shut quick, get the radio on, and we go into a panic, that will make our dogs wonder what on earth is going on, and that can actually cause them to think, okay, I wasn't that worried about the firework, but now you're worried. So that's the difference is, you know, if your dog wants a cuddle, let them come up and have a cuddle. Get on the floor with them and have a cuddle, have a play, whatever it is they like. That's not going to reinforce the fear, but if you go too far out of your normal self, then your dog's going to wonder why you're upset, and that can actually then make them worry as well. So that's the big difference.
Absolutely.
You know, go around, shut the curtains and everything, but just do it normally. You haven't got to race round. But
Some good advice in there, Joe. We're out of time, but listen, as ever, an absolute pleasure, and thank you, top dog trainer Joe Nutkins. And as we said there, that doesn't just apply to dogs; it's right across the board. So good luck with that. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
That little charity is very important. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Hopefully that will help a few dogs.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Incredible 6-year-old.